I never had to guard him man-to-man, but there were times I had to get him man-to-man. And your
favorite team that you guys love to face in your division?
Yours.
Yes, sir.
It's like the games like you play against the Raiders, you might get 3 sacks. When they had Jamarcus Russell, which I did. So I got 3 sacks on them. I got 3 sacks on them in the first half, right?
Yeah.
And I'm ready, and they take Tommy Maddox.
We are live in the JBW studio tonight for another episode of the West War Room Rivals. I will be your captain and host tonight, Cory, representing Broncos country. With us is Caleb, Cody, Matt, and Austin, representing their squads as well. Boys, today's Veterans Day. It's a near and dear holiday for us, having family members serving, obviously, former Marine, cousin, uncle, and a cousin in the former Navy, and our very own Matt, who is also currently in the Navy, as well as our sponsor, Jeff, who was also in the Navy, as well as Troy, former Air Force, and then Matt, who was the other one that you posted today?
Noah from Badger Barrel.
That's right. So again, thank you to all who have and are currently serving, giving us an opportunity to do stuff like this, giving us the opportunity to do a sports podcast show for you guys. Without them, the men and women who sacrifice it daily, words can't even do it justice with how much they mean to us. So from all of us here at the West War Room, thank you all for your service. Matty, we appreciate you, buddy.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Anybody got quick words before we get going tonight?
Hell of a week 10. And again, for all the veterans, thank you for what you guys do.
Right. So we had a chance. We reviewed the Broncos Raiders shit show last week, but Chargers Steelers game, not much better. So let's do a little quick recap of that. I'm going to be the first to say that I put my faith in the wrong team. I'm no longer going to be on the Steelers bandwagon. They let me down. I'm actually one of those that I don't mind Aaron Rodgers, but he hurt me. He killed my 20-game win streak for my pick'ems on the show. Aaron Rodgers, I can't forgive you for this. So, Caleb, break down the game and what you thought of that Steelers-Chargers matchup.
Yeah, so it started off a slugfest. Really, I was really excited to see how we won the game. It was different than we had in a while. Kind of a slobber knocker, I guess you'd say. We did some different things on offense that I really enjoyed. And I know you Broncos guys don't really like this too much, but I liked the way we hit the quick game, right? We hit Quentin Johnston on the side a couple times. He made some big plays. Basically an extension of the run game, get the ball out quick of Justin Herbert's hands, because we do not have that O-line. So I really enjoyed seeing that. Really liked seeing how our defense played as well. I thought they played incredible, lights out game. They gave up a touchdown there at the end, kind of garbage time. But overall, man, I was really impressed with how the Chargers played. I was actually really disappointed in the Steelers. I thought they did not bring their A game at all. I think they didn't look prepared, if I'm being honest. At least offensively. Defensively, they were pinning their ears back at the start of the game, teeing off on Justin. But overall, I was really excited to see the way we won this game, and excited in going into Jacksonville and then a bye week. So, but yeah.
Yeah, one of the guys I was real impressed with, Denzel Perryman. He looked possessed that game, flying around, looking like young Denzel Perryman was again. I really do like some of the pieces they have. Matt, what takes do you have regarding that Steelers-Chargers game?
No, basically the same. Like I kind of figured the Chargers were going to win this. I don't trust the Steelers defense enough to be able to put back-to-back wins against high-flying offenses, top offenses, Yeah, they had their day against the Colts, but I don't trust them enough to have a consistent game going into the Chargers. So I kind of figured it was going to be the Chargers were going to have their way. I mean, yeah, it was a slugfest. It started off kind of slow, and I was impressed with Cam Hart. I mean, he's a smaller guy lining up against DK, and he held his own. I think, Caleb, correct me if I'm wrong, I think he did have a pick in that game, did he not?
He did not, but we did have a rookie. RJ Mickens got a pick.
Yeah, there you go. RJ Mickens. Yeah. Mickens was another one. He stood tall when they needed him to. He came through. He was making plays. Cam Hart held his own against DK. So, I mean, the Chargers defense, they're doing really, really well on this 3-game win streak. They haven't allowed a whole lot. They haven't allowed a whole lot of yards. Points have been hard to come by. So, I mean, this is down the stretch when you need them to stand up. They've been doing that. So,
yeah. Cody, what about you?
Yeah, you know what? I mean, I know we were joking before we went live that it was kind of a boring game, but if anything, what it told us is that the Chargers are probably in better shape than what we gave them credit for regarding their O-line. I mean, Vidal himself, 95 rushing yards on a rushing touchdown as well. Granted, it was a lot of some yards that had to come in some physicality, but he was able to break away towards, the second half, really made the difference. And the fact that, even though Justin Herbert was sacked 5 times, I think he was hit also 10 times in this game, he was able to get up. He was able to find Ladd McConkey. He got Quentin Johnston involved, which, he went away for a couple of weeks. Keenan Allen, who also became the Chargers all-time receptions leader. He had, a mild game. I would say he was serviceable, but very similar to like what you were saying, Cory, and what Matt was saying is the Steelers themselves, probably the biggest, like, holy crap, like what happened? Because I would have thought that offense would have came better prepared, considering that the Chargers defense is very good, but I thought the Steelers offensive line probably would have done a little bit better job at giving Rodgers some time. I do think Rodgers, didn't get any help from his guys. He had a lot of drop passes from Calvin Austin. DK Metcalf wasn't really able to get separation, which was odd. The whole team in itself offensively just was not ready to go. I think it was a very poor showing for the Steelers. Doesn't help that the Ravens are getting hot at the right time when they need to kind of jump the lead in the North. And I think Steelers right now are holding on for dear life. But I think the one thing it showed us about the Chargers is that was probably one of a tougher defense that really put a licking on the Colts, who are a top AFC team. The fact that Chargers were able to control them for a majority of the game and they all came out relatively healthy, I think that's a huge win for the Chargers.
Yeah, Khalil Mack had another big-time play. They kind of got it going with the old safety. That 3-2, thought it was going to hold up 3-2. But what says you about that run game? We did say last week when we were previewing it that they needed to stick with the run game, and 95 yards is still pretty impressive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought the Chargers ran the ball well, but my takeaway from this game was the Steelers' offense is really the issue here. We can kind of go not quite the same as Denver, but I think Steelers' defense did everything they could for as long as they could. But we've mentioned before that sometimes when your offense doesn't help and your defense is on the field a little too much, they kind of wear down. They get a little fatigued, and they no longer can keep you in the game. So Steelers defense, I think, did kind of what we thought they would do. They were just on the field a little too much. And you can credit that to the run game. I mean, when Chargers stick with the run game, have production in the run game, and can, control the game, that's a huge part of it. So I still think it's a bigger issue for the Steelers in their offense. You go out and you trade for DK, you get rid of Pickens, you bring in Rodgers, you think your offense is going to be solved, and they haven't really put it together yet. Credit to the Chargers for not just laying down and anything. They still had to show up. But yeah, I think it shows the Chargers offense is, well, maybe as a team, a little better than I ever gave them credit for, certainly. But my takeaway is still the Steelers offense is my biggest concern. This was supposed to be one of their years, right? Very competitive. They really haven't been. So kudos to the Chargers. They kind of did what we mentioned them doing to the Vikings. They came out, they did what they were supposed to do, and they keep doing it. So at this point, this deep into the season, the Chargers kind of are who we've seen, and honestly, they're just a really good team.
And we will preview the Chargers-Jaguars Sunday in our pregame show. So let's move on. Cody kicking us off with our seggy of the Cody's Silver and Black Ops. Cody, what did we learn about the Raiders in Week 10?
Well, what we learned is our field goal kicker, Daniel Carlson, had an off year. And again, he missed a game-tying field goal that would have sent that game into overtime. I feel like, we played better on Thursday than I gave us credit for. I thought the Broncos were going to run us out of Denver. And funny enough, it was the fact that they went toe-to-toe defensively. And Geno Smith sacked 6 times. He was, I think, hit 15 times. Now, granted, I'm not going to say that there was any missed calls or anything. I mean, penalties aside, I think it was just a hard game to watch on both sides for Broncos and the Raiders. Now, granted, the Raiders, I think, hung tough in there, which I'm surprised that they did. But some things that I'm concerned with following that week is we lost JPJ. He's on IR, potentially out for the season. We had to move around Alex Kappa, who I think also was injured, and now we had to give Parham, we've moved him over. I think he also left the game, or he's on the injury report, so we have to see if he's healthy enough. So our offensive line, which was already, rough to begin with, is now coming into a week against the Dallas Cowboys, when we'll preview this later. They're coming into it with already having a hard time protecting Geno, and now they're down, and now they've got to, stretch themselves even further because, our offensive line wasn't trash enough. So, a lot are also too, like, our run game, not so well. Once we're one dimensional, it doesn't move so well. So for the Raiders in week 10, I think what we learned is, like, we need to play the young guys, which we did a little bit more. Darian Porter Jr. played a lot more. Jack Besh was able to see the field a little bit more. Thornton was able to see the field. Now, granted, he dropped the touchdown, which, may have changed the game. But the fact that he's getting opportunities, which is good, we want to get these young guys acclimated to the season. I kind of hate the fact that it took 10 weeks before Pete Carroll realized we need to get the young guys involved. And I feel like that's wasted opportunity and experience for the rest of the season. But as we look ahead to Dallas, we'll see how that all unfolds, because they're also going through their own woes to begin with. But they also acquired a lot of defensive players, which is going to make them an interesting matchup in week 11. But I'm also curious, though, and I'm not trying to say that we're going to segue into the next one, but I almost feel like week 10 told us more about the Broncos than it did the Raiders. And I know that we talked about this on our Sunday morning show about them being contenders. And so I feel like there's more conversation about the Broncos, and if there's something wrong with them, was it a short week, and that's why it was just a little bit rougher of a game, and all that in between.
Yeah, and you guys have something else in common with Denver. You guys fired your special teams coordinator, Tom McMahon, who's also been fired by the Broncos. I don't remember if he was a Nate Hackett guy or if he was a Vic Fangio guy, but either way, I do know he got fired by the Broncos too. So just another thing that the Raiders want to be the Broncos so bad in there. So I'm not going to make this a Broncos segment, but Caleb, what are your thoughts on what Cody had mentioned about the Raiders and what we learned about them in week 10?
Yeah, I mean, I was a little more impressed probably, I guess, than you all. I mean, I'm not saying – I was more impressed than I expected, I guess is what I want to say. I wasn't expecting them to hold the Broncos to 10 points. Whether that was the Broncos hurting themselves or the Raiders, I don't know. But I do think I mean, overall, I was a little more impressed than I expected from what I watched. It was still not the greatest game to watch ever, but yeah, it's pretty much.
Yeah. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, as a Chiefs fan, it was one of the worst games I've ever been a part of. Like, I don't know, not enjoyable, but there was not a whole lot of good to take out of this. So I guess for the Raiders' viewpoint or standpoint, my takeaway is the Raiders are just not a good team anymore. We can chalk it up to this year. We can quit holding out hope that they might turn it around, salvage a little something, or Pete Carroll can make a difference. Right now, what it taught me is they're just not good. The injuries aren't going to help. They're going to get thinner across the line, and getting rid of someone like Jacoby Myers is not going to help you right away either. Draft pick, whatever, might, but right now it doesn't. So at this point, I think you're spot on. Give the young people some talent or some playing time. See what you have, because at this point, we've learned that they can just it's a lost season.
Maddie?
Yeah. God, what hasn't already been said yet? I think I spent like the entire weekend crashing out about it. I mean, I knew it wasn't going to be like a little walk in the park, but I expected better performance from both teams. Because again, it's at the end of the day, it's still a divisional matchup. Like they always say, like that's the team you always play toughest is your divisional rival. And really, it was just kind of a struggle. Like neither offense got anything going. Denver did find daylight. You know, even the Raiders, they found daylight. They each scored a touchdown, but I mean, like at the end of the day, it was just like, what is this product on the field that I'm watching right now? Like if taxpayers knew what their money was going to, like this is it right here. They're watching this. All right. So I was just overall the offense again, not to beat a dead horse and be repetitive, just the Bo Nix's mechanics were off. Sean Payton, what was that 3rd and 1? Double pass, Cortland Sutton, no idea what you were thinking there. And just thank God for our defense, because at this point, like the product I saw on the field, we should be 2-8 and not 8-2. I'm going to leave it at that before I get upsetty spaghetti again.
Yeah, but honestly, like a divisional matchup on a short week, that's kind of how they started these Thursday night games out when they first switched to Thursday night.
Mhm.
And this was the product we got a lot, like because you stick to your tendencies, you don't have a lot of time to install something different. And you play these teams so much they know it.
Mhm.
So I do think a large part of it is just your divisional opponent on a short week, and that's why these games always look so rough. Honestly,
Yeah, I have nothing for it. Yeah, I'll save what I really want to say for the Crossfire, but let's go to Austin's aerial attack right now and kind of, you know, what defense stood out to you in week 10.
there's a few of them that I want to point out. None of them in the 10-7 games. I'm just going to throw that out right now. Yes,
None of those elite defenses.
There was some good defense, but there was also a lot of bad offense to help that along. So I'm going to do my shout out for it first, because I'm gonna say the Seahawks right now, just because Dexter Lawrence had 2 fumble sixes.
Identical plays.
Yeah, same person forced the fumble, same person scooped and scored. It's not going to be what I'm picking, but I think if a defensive lineman gets 2 scoop and scores in the same game, it deserves a call out, shout out. So that's what I'm doing. But I'm going to pick the Dolphins.
Wow, I didn't think you'd ever pick the Dolphins for anything.
I didn't either, but like you can say what you want about like the Bills, Josh Allen looked bad, whatever, but like the Dolphins still made plays. They didn't let James Cook run all over them. You know, Josh Allen's turnovers weren't just handed to him. Like he threw a pass, they intercept, like they had to make the plays. And so they held the Bills to 13 points. Again, the total score is not what we're going off of here. Just Dolphins defense against the Bills. Even I think Matt he picked James Cook for basically like 9,000 yards and 100 touchdowns just because.
More or less.
Yeah, exactly, give or take. But they came out, they didn't let that happen, and I don't know what happened to the Bills, but Dolphins showed up. Again, it's a division game. That's usually when you try your hardest. But at the end of the day, that game should have never went the way that it did. But it did happen, and a huge shout out to the Dolphins defense for making that happen, because you hold any offense, any James Cook, Josh Allen offense to just 13 points at any point, it's one hell of a game from you. So the Dolphins get my aerial attack this week.
Nice. And I'm going to give a little shout out to the Saints.
Yep.
You know, they're 2-8, but again, the Panthers are still technically in playoff contention, and you know, to hold the team to 7 points on the road, nonetheless, and a divisional game, and I kept saying the Panthers were going to be a sleeper team, but just watching that game, they weren't doing anything. I think Bryce Young finished with 124 passing yards with an interception. He got sacked twice, but there's something about a team who's, you know, Kellen Moore, that they're playing. You know, I don't see any quit in those guys. You know, they had Tyler Shuck, which I don't know. He's
Yeah.
Don't get me started on that, but it's still nice to see. You know, Alvin Kamara wants to stay there. You know, you respect guys that want to stay in the situation because they know that they're probably not going to win while they're there, but they want to be, you know, they still want to be a part of something. So I'm giving my defense a shout out to the Saints. Cody, who you got?
You know what? I want to give it to the Seahawks very badly, but I think one team, and honestly, I kind of feel silly for doing it because Monday Night Football was a snooze fest. But I think in kind of the best way, defenses really were on display, and specifically the Eagles shutting down the Packers the way that they did. They gave up no sacks. They had the Packers turn the ball over. Fumbles only, 3 different fumbles. One of them, which obviously ended the game, although they almost handed the Packers back the game by going for it on 4th, which was weird. But for the most part, that defense, though, holding it down to where the Packers, who coming into the season outside of their defense, offensively were supposed to put it on the league, so to speak. And they made Jordan Love look silly. They made that offense absolutely, irrelevant in general. And a lot of that, too, is credit to the Eagles secondary. Their secondary is very, very, very good. A lot of teams are going to have a hard time, getting deep shots over the top. Mitchell was phenomenal. Cooper Dijon, is that his name, right? He was Dijon, sorry. He was fantastic in the game as well. So I feel like the Eagles secondary and that defense needs a shout out as well, considering it was a crappy game. Their offense didn't do them any favors. Such an egregious false start on the tush push, which is going to get that thing banned this offseason for sure. But that defense, though, it travels. It went into Green Bay, shut that team down. A very quiet night in Wisconsin for sure.
And we talk about the addition of Jalen Phillips for the Eagles too.
Yep,
he was all over. You can say that he had a bigger impact on that game than Micah Parsons.
Oh yeah,
who was traded for a lot more. No, don't get me. I'm not saying he's better than Micah Parsons. Like
no. Talk your shit. Go ahead.
Packers defense also played well. I think the Eagles offense is actually good,
right.
And Packers defense held them well. But it's those stupid moves that the league keeps letting the Eagles make.
Mm-hmm.
Like Jalen Phillips has no reason being on this defense for just a mid-round pick, and he made a huge difference. So I love your shout out, Jalen Phillips. Obviously, that defense is loaded, but he kind of stood out to me as the best player on that defense last night.
All right. Real quick, Matt, who you got?
I got to give Caleb his credit. I got to go with the Chargers, man. Just what they were able to do. I know it's the Steelers and their offense is kind of hit or miss, but look what they were able to do. 2 for 11 on 3rd down, 2 interceptions, a fumble recovery. I mean, they were just all over the field, and it wasn't just one player. It was all of them. R.J. Mickens, Cam Hart, Denzel Perryman. I think Tier Tart got some action in there as well. So, I mean, this Chargers defense and what Jesse Minter has been able to do with this defense, I mean, tip my hat to them because they are just flying to the ball. They're all over the field. They got a lot of talent. They got a lot of weapons there. I got to go with the Chargers on this one.
I did say a few weeks ago that Jesse Minter was going to be a hot coaching candidate this offseason, so I still stick with that. Caleb, who'd you have?
Yeah, I love all these picks. Really, there was a lot of bad offense this week again, like you were saying, but I got to go with my team as well. And Cory had mentioned it earlier, and Matt just did too, but Denzel Perryman, man, he fired me up. I thought he changed the game with some of those tackles. We don't see many tackles like that anymore where it's a good, form tackle, just run somebody over. Loved it. I thought he set the tone. But, yeah, overall, I really liked the way our defense played this week.
Is Henley the most underrated linebacker in football?
I think he's great, man.
I love Henley. He's when I was doing some of the Chargers, game MVPs, the first part of the season, he was – I know I picked him once or twice, and Matt may have actually picked him a couple times as well. So he is a huge part. And then is it 2-0 or 2-0 whatever?
Tuipulotu, yeah, he's a stud.
He's a very underrated edge rusher. So again, in an AFC West full of just edge rushers minus Raiders,
they got Max.
Yeah, I know. They got Max.
Not according to Aqib Talib, he doesn't play defense. So
yeah, I mean Aqib's never wrong. So anyway, so with that being said, Caleb, we got your Counterstrike. Who was all hype, no bite in week 10?
So I have to start off by apologizing to Matt's mother. Man, the Patriots, they shut me up. That's all I have to say. Travion Henderson he's the real deal. He really is.
Yeah.
But I want to apologize to your mom. Start out by saying that.
Oh no, as soon as that clock hit 0 and the Pats were on that side of the scoreboard, the first person to text me was her. So
I'm sure. I'm sure.
don't worry.
I'm
Like I said,
sure.
I will get the brunt of anything you guys say about the Pats. I will get the brunt of. So
I'm the only one, I'm pretty sure, who thought the Patriots could win. And
Yeah,
I said,
I think you were.
Don't worry, you'll get back in their good graces if you say something nice about the Patriots, maybe.
Hey, I will say they made me eat my words for sure. But I just wanted to start off by saying that. But I guess my Counterstrike this week is actually it's the Bills. I know Austin talked on that a few minutes ago, but man, what a poor performance overall. You're playing the Dolphins. Like I get it, the Dolphins did play really good, but what are we doing? Like, I think if I read it correctly, I'm just going off memory, but I think they ran for like 87 yards for them. And Josh Allen had to throw for like 307 and they still lost, or 300 something and they lost. Had 3 turnovers. But really, I have to overall. They're my Counterstrike this week because I think they are a little hyped right now. I know they beat the Chiefs recently, but I don't know how they did that. If I'm being real with you, I just shake my head on that one a little bit. But they play the Buccaneers and Texans in like an 11-day span from this week, and I think that is a tough stretch for them. You're playing Buccaneers who are obviously coming off a weird loss themselves. But I think they have more firepower. And then Texans obviously have an incredible defense, and they looked really good this weekend in that comeback. But yeah, the Bills are my Counterstrike this week, and we'll see if they make me eat my words as well.
no, I think again, I'm going to sound like a typical Chiefs fan, but I think the proof's out there. It was a Super Bowl hangover because we know every year their Super Bowl's the Chiefs.
Yep.
They look 2 completely different teams. And
Yep.
I don't know if the Super Bowl hangover is maybe the correct term, but that's what it's most comparable to. They're able to get up, we're hyped up, all for it for the Chiefs, and then the Dolphins, obviously, they didn't get up the same way. So I love the Counterstrike. It's true. You can beat teams like the Chiefs, but you have to beat the teams you're supposed to.
Everyone else agree, or does someone else have anything different?
My
No,
opinion
that's
is
what
that
I-
was pretty spot on.
Yep.
Yep. I was gonna say my mom did just message us and said, "That's okay, boys. Everyone makes mistakes. I still love you."
Thank you.
Thank you, Mom.
Thank you, Matt's mom.
Graces. All right, well then we'll just go right into the Crossfire. And it's Bo Nix this week. I know I got Bo Nix the jersey. Bo Nix has to take the next steps if Denver's going to do anything. I get it. We're 8-2 right now, and I know there's a ton of teams and ton of fans who would love to be in a position to have a team that's 8-2. But the fact of the matter is, he's so up and down, as I call the Broncos country roller coaster. That's been the offense this season. Matty, you did a great job with that graphic that you compared the 2015 offense, because we talked the pregame the other day about comparing them to the 2015 team. Obviously, it was defense at that point, and then I had mentioned, in 2015 the offense wasn't very good either. I didn't think they were that bad, but you look at the numbers. I mean, they're kind of right there, 2015 to now. But if Denver's going to get to where they think we can get to, it falls directly on Bo Nix in that offense. Man, there's weeks where he's like, his mechanics are there. He's zipping the ball. He's hitting the guys. And then there's games like Thursday night where he's dancing around, even Kirk Herbstreit and those guys were talking about the footwork in the pocket. And, I want Bo to run more. When Denver took off last year, Bo Nix was running. And I know some people are going to say it's taking unnecessary hits and he's doing that. It's not that. It's extending the offense a little bit more. We have a good run game. Obviously, J.K. Dobbins is obviously probably not going to play this week, which does hurt. But I think R.J. Harvey's going to be ready. But now this is another step for Bo. Bo can use his legs, extend those plays. I'm not saying bail out in the pocket early and bail out too soon, but you have what a lot of quarterbacks don't have, and you have that ability to be mobile. And I'm not going to dive into a complete breakdown of the Chiefs-Broncos game. That'll obviously come at a later time. But again, in order for the Broncos to get where they have to go, it's got to fall directly on Bo, because I want the offense to help the defense out Our defense is playing so well right now. You just wait and hold your breath for that moment where the defense, they're going to have to give up some points, and it's going to come down to the offense is going to have to make a few plays. And are you at that point right now where you can comfortably say they can score? They're not doing it at will. The first 3 quarters, I don't know what they're doing. We can keep saying fourth quarter magic all we want, but at the end of the day, you're getting deeper into the season. The good teams are going to start separating themselves. And you can say the Chiefs are down, the Bills are down, and some of these other teams in the AFC who are usually there. It's your time. It's your chance. You have to step up, and you have to be able to make these plays and get that confidence back. But again, I'm still a believer. I still have full faith in Bo Nix, and I still think this offense has plenty of time to, change this around and make that statement this week. What better way to do that than in a nationally televised game? You got CBS, Tony Romo, Jim Nantz, all those guys there at home in front of Broncos country. It's going to be rocking. That stadium's going to be loud. Disrupt it. Make the statement this week. Have your best game of the season this weekend and get back on course.
Yeah, exactly too. And all these people that are saying like, oh, we have a great defense. It was the same in 2015. And then all the ones that are saying this are the same ones that after we won the Super Bowl, where we're like, oh, we don't need a quarterback. We have the number 1 defense. And yeah, they started off 4-0 after the Super Bowl, but look what happened. They just kind of like crashed and burned. It's going to be the same thing. If Denver cannot get this offense together, if Bo Nix cannot clean up those mechanics, if Sean Payton continues to call double passes on 3rd and 1, these screen passes for no reason, we're going to collapse, and we are going to face some tough. There's no doubt in my mind. We're going to make the playoffs. But look who's coming. Look who's surging. The Patriots are surging. The Colts are probably going to we'll probably have to see the Colts if we advance. The road to the Super Bowl, as of right now, goes through Indianapolis. Going back to Indianapolis, taking on the Chargers again, probably for a 3rd time. All these scenarios could play out, and if Denver is not, like you said, on their A game, it's going to be a very rough end of the season.
And I think you have a little margin of error right now being 8-2, and I get that. So we are thankful that we're 8-2. Completely not saying that this team's a letdown at all. I'm saying is now is the time to build on that. Thanks a lot for nothing, Falcons. You could have helped us out. Didn't. But that's for another story. Does anyone else have anything on this Crossfire before we take a quick break?
I think it's very appropriate. It's to Bo Nix. Although I hope you guys aren't in the same bandwagon that you guys need to get rid of Bo Nix to achieve your Super Bowl aspirations, considering you guys just drafted him.
No, and Bo is still young. He's still learning. And again, Josh Allen wasn't Josh Allen until like year 3 or 4. It's going to take time. But
Jeff in the comments is reiterating what I said the other night. His numbers in his first 28 games are better than both Elway and Allen. We're not at all saying that he's going to be either one of these guys. We're just saying breathe a little bit. It takes time. Sean Payton is the correct guy to have that. Broncos are fixing the choke threat. You stop it. Stop. I don't want to hear it. Go Chiefs. Get out of here. What are you doing?
I'm just going through fan comments. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah, I know. You're good. So with that being said, we have to take a quick commercial break to give our sponsors a shout out. So we will be right back.
West War Room Rivals is sponsored by Emporia State Federal Credit Union. Learn more at esfcu.com. Text or call the number 620-342-2336 to get started today. ESFCU is the Shovix banking of choice, federally insured by the NCUA. This episode of West War Room Rivals is brought to you by JBW Solutions Industrial Safety Services, your remote safety partner no matter where work takes you. From the job site to the office, JBW Solutions brings OSHA 10 and 30 training, plus a full lineup of compliance services straight to your screen. Whether you're a small crew or a major operation, they make safety simple, accessible, and effective. Visit jbwsolutionsllc.com to learn more today and stay compliant wherever you are. West War Room Rivals is sponsored by Field Ops. Kansas sports fields just got an upgrade with Field Ops. Looking to reserve top quality sports fields in Kansas? Whether you're organizing youth tournaments, adult leagues, or weekend pickup games, Field Ops is your go-to platform for discovering and booking the best athletic fields across the state. Instant online reservations, detailed field info such as locations, amenities, and photos. Field Ops is also trusted by coaches, organizers, and athletes. From Wichita to Overland Park, Field Ops has got you covered with real-time availability and streamlined scheduling. Get in the game at gofieldops.com/Kansas-KS. That's gofieldops.com/Kansas-KS.
And we are back live here in the JBW Solutions studio. We got the whole crew here tonight. So before we move on to Matt's M.I.L.F. report again, I want to reiterate Happy Veterans Day. Matt, Jeff in the comments, Troy, those guys, again, for your service. Without you guys doing what you guys have done, we wouldn't be able to do stuff like this. So again, Happy Veterans Day. Fun fact, our hometown, Emporia, is the founding city of Veterans Day. And I know that Emporia had a huge Veterans Week. Essentially, they have a whole kind of plan mapped out, parades, downtown's a bunch of banners hung downtown of veterans. It's kind of a fun place to be during Veterans Day week. So I know Emporia had a good Veterans Day parade today as well. So again, thank you guys. Matt, again, we thank you. With that, get into your M.I.L.F. report and kind of recap Week 10's review.
Absolutely. Again, thank you guys for the support. Thank you everyone in the comments that's messaged me, my dad as well, thanking us for our service again. Your guys' support means everything. So without further ado, thank you, Mama Shovik. M.I.L.F. report. It's going to be Puka Nacua and Cam Woolley going at it. Puka actually is coming off a pretty good game. Cam Woolley is a very physical corner. He's got long arms. He's got good makeup speed. It's going to be a good matchup. I'm really excited. And again, it's also a divisional rivalry game as well. Again, you play each other tougher when it's your divisional rival. So I'm going to be looking to see, is Puka going to continue that performance? I think he had 64 yards and a touchdown. So is he going to continue that performance against Cam Woolley, who, again, is just physical? He's not going to let you just play pitch and catch. He's going to get in your face. He's going to get his arms in there. He's going to put his hip into you and kind of like throw off that timing, which is something he's really good at. So that's going to be my matchup. I was going to talk about, I was going to say, obviously, Chiefs and Broncos, but we're going to get into that later. But, yeah, my matchup is going to be Puka Nacua and Cam Woolley.
Don't sleep on that Cooper Cup revenge game. Bro, what are you looking at?
Yeah, who's Cam Woolley?
Tariq Woolen.
Oh, Tariq Woolen. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. It came out I think I typed it in. I think I was just not paying attention when I made my notes.
You're good. I
wasn't paying, and I
was looking at the roster.
attention.
I was like, "Where's there a Cam on here?"
I was like,
I knew what you meant, Matt. I got you.
Thank you. Yeah, no, when I type my notes, I type really fast and I fat finger a lot. And I think Cam Woolen, I was like, as I'm saying this doesn't sound right, but okay, yeah.
There you go. I'm like, a big physical corner I don't know. I need to study the game more. That's supposed to be my jam. No, I was going to say Chiefs-Broncos too, but that's probably a good thing since we are going to get to that later. So I'm actually going to – we've kind of talked about both these teams now, the Bucs and the Bills. I'm just curious about that matchup in general. I don't want to say the Bucs are coming off a bad loss because I do think the Patriots are a good team, but they're both coming off a loss. I think the Bucs have a little more wiggle room when it comes to playoffs, but right now, do we consider this a must-win for the Bills at this point? Because they're no longer playing for division; they're playing for wild card.
Right.
So I'm curious to see just how they bounce back. The Bucs are a physical team that you're not going to be able to just go in there and have your way. You thought the Dolphins were physical and could stop you. Well, meet the Bucs this week. So I'm just curious on that whole matchup. Is the Bills offense at this point? They have to keep them in the games because their defense is the exact opposite of the Broncos. Teams can do whatever they want against their defense. So if I have to pick a specific matchup, it's the Bills offense versus the Bucs defense. Can the Bills keep them in this game?
Caleb, go.
Yeah, so I'm really excited to see the Lions-Eagles. Dan Campbell just took over play calling Eagles are obviously the Eagles. They've won quite a few, and they have an incredible defense. So I'm really excited to see that matchup. The other one that's kind of right there with it that I was debating between was the Bears Vikings. Bears just won. They just won last week to, I think now them or the Lions. One is first in the top of the division.
I think Bears are 2 right now below. Yeah, because
the Lions.
Yeah, because the Packers loss drops them to 3. Bears are at 2. Lions 1.
Okay, that's what I was thinking, something like that. And then that's obviously a huge matchup for the Vikings too. Like they need to win that game.
They are both 6-3. Yeah, the Lions and
6-3,
and the Bears are both 6-3.
That's what I thought. So those are both games that I'm really excited to see this weekend. So we'll see how they go. I think the Lions kind of have a little edge to them right now with Dan Campbell taking over. So I would expect them to win that game and really take the division.
Cody, go.
So this one's probably a little bit lackluster because I think the one that we're going to preview after this segment is probably the main event of it all. But I think the matchup that I'm most looking forward to outside of that is probably the Bengals and the Steelers. I kind of want to see how the Steelers bounce back, and I want to see too if the Bengals with Joe Flacco, how competitive that offense is going to look because, news of Joe Burrow coming back on a limited basis just happened yesterday. So if he's practicing, he's kind of getting in rhythm. What's that timeline look like? They already said like early December. We're 2.5 weeks away from that. So at what point, the Bengals are got to have to win some games in the next couple of weeks to get them close enough to where maybe they can sneak into a wild card. Maybe they could hang tight in the top of the division to where maybe they could somehow eke out the AFC North. So I'm really curious. This game has a lot of implications in it. For the Steelers, if they're going to maintain their lead, are they going to be able to maintain it at home or are they going to collapse? Because there's also another AFC North divisional game, the Ravens and the Browns. And I'm not saying that the Ravens have much to worry about outside. The Browns have a very good defense. But if the Ravens sputter, then what does that mean for the Steelers if they also lose? And now you kind of got a little bit of a bottleneck happening at the top of that division. So Steelers and Bengals for me are a very interesting rivalry game that I'm really going to take a look at because a lot of implications for the Bengals and the Steelers depending on who wins that game.
Yeah, I'm intrigued with this Chargers-Jaguars game because Chargers are going all the way down to Jacksonville for a noon game.
Yep.
That's not as easy as it sounds for some. And what Jaguars team are you going to get? Are you going to get the ones who are real dominant in the first 3 quarters against the Texans? Or are you going to get the Jaguars that handled the Chiefs? We don't know. So I am intrigued. I still think the Chargers can, pull this one out. But if the Jaguars are on, look out. It could end up being a really good game as far as, matchups go and whatnot. So there's some, and I mentioned this in the text the other night, there's some pretty good matchups this weekend. And I know there's the one big shadow of game that obviously we're more kind of focused in on, but don't sleep on that Chargers-Jaguars game, but do sleep on the Raiders-Cowboys Monday night game. My God, what are we doing? What do we have to see? Have we not suffered enough with primetime games? Have we not suffered enough?
A lot of implications on that. We got draft order to worry about, all right?
Well, lucky for the Raiders, the Cowboys offense is starting to sputter.
There we go.
The game when the Cowboys drop 50. Like it could be like a 50-45 game.
Which is the most ironic thing. It could be one of those games. It was definitely not in my silver and black report for a reason. I probably won't talk much about it when we do our preview show, just because, we're not fighting for a playoff spot. Definitely not a wild card. I think the Cowboys have more to gain from a victory if they do obviously win. Would I have rather had it on Monday night when we were competitive? Sure. I think this is one of the things that maybe the NFL should think about flexing. So just keep it in my TV market, though, because I still got to watch this thing. So
I'm hoping KU has a basketball game that night. I don't think they do, but unfortunately, we have to watch this game.
We have obligations, sir. We have sponsors that are relying on it.
We do, unfortunately, for the sake of our eyes. Let's talk Chiefs-Broncos real quick. the nice thing is, and what I'm pumped about is we'll have Sylvester Williams on tomorrow, who has obviously been a part of the Chiefs-Broncos kind of thing. But when he played the Chiefs, we're still kind of but I'm still, from his perspective, we always talk about Chiefs-Raiders. We always talk about Raiders week. Well, now we're going to get a chance to talk about Chiefs week or Broncos week. I'm really excited to see how Cortland Sutton does against Trent McDuffie, because Cortland's had his number very well.
Yeah, it's not a good matchup.
It's not a good matchup on paper. Can Bo Nix hit him? We'll see. One thing that, Matt, we're not going to have PS2 again, it looks like. So this could be a really it can go one of two ways for our corners out there with the speed team that the Chiefs have with Rashee Rice, Hollywood Brown, Xavier Worthy, maybe Thornton if they for some weird reason keep phasing him out of the offense. So Matt, give me your thoughts on this huge matchup.
Yeah, so one, like you said, we're not going to be with Pat Surtain again. However, the secondary has already shown that they can hold their own without him. Chris Abrams-Rain, he's come in. He's doing a pretty good job keeping these receivers at bay. He's limiting those explosive plays. Jahdae Barron, again, he only gave up that one play to Brock Bowers, and after that, he was quiet the rest of the night. So I am confident that the defense is going to be able to find ways to kind of like contain those weapons. But it's going to be in the trenches, because if you give Pat Mahomes that time to sit back and dance around in the pocket, extend those plays with his legs, he's going to find someone. He's really good at that, and I'll take this to the grave with me. One of the things the Chiefs excel at is when that play is busted and it's broken down, they find a way to make a play, turn something out of nothing. Can't let that happen. You have to be able to contain them. So I'm not too worried about the defense. It's just more of like, can they get to Pat Mahomes and just kind of like be fast and swarm him, contain him, make him make throws that he didn't want to make, check down, all those things. Keep Xavier Worthy at bay. Again, take Thornton out of the game. Just do your job. That's it. Stay home, do your job. But it's going to be on the offense. It's going to be on the offense.
And I think we'll see a little Dre Greenlaw spy action along with Justin Sternad. So what are your initial thoughts? We're not going to dive into X factors or predictions. It's more of like a, get your mouth wet a little bit before we talk Sunday pregame show. So what are your thoughts on this initially?
I just want to say to my friend Seth that I, from day one, have been a Riley Moss believer and backer. So the slander is never coming from me. Even as a Chiefs fan, I've had Riley Moss's back from day one, even when it annoyed them sometimes, because there were times I shouldn't have, but I stuck with them. But honestly, on paper, let's be honest, Denver should win this game. They have the one thing that has given Chiefs issues for a few years now, and that's a dominant pass rush. When that gets to even the Bills, they don't have a dominant pass rush, but it was good enough to where it just ruined the Chiefs. So, on paper, I don't expect this to be a very fun game. Not quite as bad as the Raiders-Broncos, but I really do think it's going to be one of those like 19-12 games or like 16-12, like just a really weird game, because I do think Chiefs defense is good enough, unless this is Broncos coming out party, but I do think Chiefs defense is also good enough to make this just a competitive game the whole time. I do think this is actually going to be a good defensive battle. I don't think it's going to be a case of bad offense. I think it's going to be a case of great defenses.
And then, Cody, before I get to you, I do want to say thoughts with Alex Singleton. Obviously, not good news on his front, so we do wish him nothing but the best. It's always a scary situation, so thoughts are with him and his family. It's a little more than football right now, man. So get yourself better. That's first and foremost. And then
we did post his Special Olympics tackle. I don't remember what he called it. Tackle mission on our X. If you're able to donate or share, obviously it's a great cause to begin with, but we obviously want to support Alex Singleton as a person and his challenge and things that he supports as well. So we posted that to our X. I might repost it again for those of you who want to go look. But like my brother said, it is more than football. Whether you're a fan of him or not, we can still support him and surround him with some positivity. So just wanted to throw that reminder out there.
Yeah. Cody, your thoughts?
So the thoughts regarding going back to the game, I think this is, I don't want to give too much away because we can talk probably a whole episode just on this matchup and all the implications. I'm kind of in the belief that this is a must-win game for the Chiefs. A lot kind of rides on the Chiefs needing this game specifically. Like, I feel like if there's a game the Broncos can come back down to earth, this is that game. You have it, and you still hold the lead in the division. However, if the Chiefs don't come out with this victory, I feel like the mountain to climb to get into the wild card at that point is almost more difficult to overcome, not because they don't have the ability to do it. The teams ahead of them just have better records, and time's just going to run out, in my opinion. But I think when we get into the preview matchup of it all, where we kind of get into the details, that's where the fun's going to begin between the chess match that you have with Vance Joseph and what you have with Andy Reid, or Spags with the offensive coordinator for, the Broncos, or Sean Payton, more or less. I feel like these teams are very evenly matched. They have upper hands in a lot of different respects. A lot of them are going through injuries of pivotal positions. But I feel like this game right here is going to decide who's going to win the AFC West. And not saying that the Chargers don't still have a chance, but with their offensive line injuries, we're also waiting for the shoe to drop on that. I feel like with the Chiefs, they're battle tested. They've done this. They can do it. Broncos are young enough with that defense. And, we, as what Matt shared on social media, the offense compares better to the Super Bowl 50 team, but the defense is right alongside with that 50 team as well. So there's just so much that is layered in this that it's actually, even though I'm a Raiders fan, AFC West or football in general, this makes you very excited to see a matchup like this of like, wow, this is some two mega teams that are going to match up to one another, and a lot rides on who comes out with a victory. So that's ultimately like what I'm thinking about when I'm seeing this matchup.
Yeah, this is a big one, but the one on Christmas could be bigger. So yeah, we get to spend Christmas watching Chiefs-Broncos again for that. So Caleb, give us your initial thoughts.
Yeah, so I am super excited to see this matchup because either way it helps my team, hopefully. It either gets the Chiefs off our back or the Broncos one spot behind us in the West. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But overall, I really think this is going to be a defensive battle. Like everyone has said so far, I don't expect a high-scoring game by any means. I think so much relies on the Broncos' offense. I think that will be the limiting factor on this game. If the Broncos' offense plays like it should, like super high-powered, that kind of thing, I think they can win this pretty easily. But I don't know that that's going to happen. Because I think Spags will have it dialed up on Bo Nix, kind of have him confused a little bit. But overall, I'm super excited to see this game.
I do think if the Chiefs win Sunday, Chargers win the division.
Yeah. Both of them are going to be very well rested too. Broncos with the mini bye, Chiefs coming off of the byes.
Well,
very well rested.
This is the Broncos' only game because they have a bye week next. So they can literally put everything out there right now. Then you have your bye week, and then you can get ready for the next part of your season. So there's going to be a lot to break down on Sunday morning, and I'm real excited for that. So
yeah, it's even a big game, like Caleb said, for the Chargers. They're not even playing, but like this is a big one for just the AFC West in general, minus the Raiders.
Yeah.
So it is a big one. I'm excited for it.
Just be ready. Because this is the big RJ Harvey game. I feel it. So let's end the show on some League Recon. I've posted a couple things for you guys. So the first one, just quick answers. Drake Maye versus JT. Obviously, those are the two guys that are kind of in front of the NFL MVP race right now. I am curious for you because I know you love both of these players, but I know you're kind of a Drake Maye man crush.
I have ever since, even before he was drafted. Can I give an order? I think it should go, and I know he's on a shit team. It goes Myles Garrett, JT, and then Drake Maye. That's how I want it to go, but it's actually going to go like Drake Maye, Matt Stafford, 12 quarterbacks, and then a non-quarterback.
That's wild.
Myles Garrett has 11 sacks. Like, I don't remember how many forced fumbles. I just want a defensive player to win it. And that's where I'm taking it.
Well, he wasn't an option, so
Drake Maye.
There you go. Cody, who you got?
God, this is so tough. I think if I had to decide, I think it'd be Jonathan Taylor. And you look at the Berlin game we just had, single-handedly kind of won that game, 230 yards. I think he had 3 total touchdowns. I mean, literally put the team on his back. And that's not the only week this season that he's done that. And you can almost make the argument that if he's not on the Colts right now, they are not, 8-2 or whatever their record is now. They are probably middle of the road, if that. I mean, he really bailed him out of Daniel Jones having another like turnover type game. And to me, it's Jonathan Taylor. We haven't seen anything like this from a running back in a while. And the fact that he's doing it at such a volume, it's like there's no one that's stopping him right now. He's back to that. There was a couple of seasons ago where he was obviously the number 1 running back in the league. He's back into form then, and he's almost more dangerous this season, in my opinion. So I would say Jonathan Taylor for me is, I would have him as the lead of MVP right now.
Yeah, my fantasy team loved Jonathan Taylor, and then my fantasy also hated Daniel Jones. But either way, Caleb, who you got?
Yeah, I got to go with Jonathan Taylor too, man. This is no shade at Drake Maye at all. Jonathan Taylor has been phenomenal. This team will go as far as Jonathan Taylor goes. If he continues what he's been, the tear he's been on, I think he's got to win MVP. We've got to have a non-QB.
If Barkley didn't win it last year, JT doesn't win it this year.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, if no one's we can agree that like MVP is not given to the rightful player.
It's not correct.
We can agree to that.
Right.
But this, like, if take a quarterback out of it, I'm taking JT. But I would also, and Caleb, I don't mean to steal your thunder.
No, you're good.
Drake Maye wouldn't even be the quarterback I would give he's not even my number 1 quarterback right now, even if there was like a QB MVP category. I would probably put like Matthew Stafford ahead of him just because of what he's doing and at his age, what he's been doing for the Rams. But JT, in my opinion, is the MVP of the league. Like, without him on the Colts are nothing, in my opinion.
I agree.
Matt, make your
pick. All right, yeah. I gotta go with JT as well. Again, nothing against Drake Maye. Again, I wanted him. If Denver wasn't going to take Bo Nix, I wanted Drake Maye. But again, right now it is the Indianapolis Jonathan Taylors. He is the reason that offense is doing what they're able to do. He is the reason Daniel Jones is able to have those good games that we have seen him produce before. So for me, it's got to go JT.
I agree.
And I love this comment. Yeah, man. I mean, there's times. There's times. But we appreciate you tuning in. This is fun for us. We love doing this. We do, for the most part, we keep it as unbiased as possible.
Off camera, though.
Off camera, yeah. Don't look at our group text sometimes. So again, Tevin, thank you for that. So the next question, basically, guys, with that belt to ass the Dolphins did to the Bills, is Bills Mafia, are they panicking? Go.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, they should be.
Yeah.
Matt.
Yeah, yep, they should be.
Yeah.
Caleb.
Yeah, that's two division losses. Yeah, definitely.
And Cody.
I mean, how are they not panicking? Weren't they favored in every game this season, and they've dropped 3 games to winnable teams in their respect? I mean, obviously they beat the Chiefs, but again, like what Austin says, that's their Super Bowl. Like, they come up for that game, but games that they should win, they don't, which is the strangest thing. And you kind of wonder when is this? I don't know. Is this the ceiling? Is this it? Are they not going to get any better? Because in my opinion, if they were to get in the playoffs, they're not winning the Super Bowl. Like, they're not a Super Bowl team, point blank. And at what point do they just say, maybe it's Sean McDermott, maybe it's this, maybe it's that? But yeah, if I'm Bills Mafia, I'm pissed and panicking. Like, same season, same story.
I know based on kind of what I'm seeing on X with a lot of Bills Mafia, man, you guys are fantastic.
They really are.
I love you guys. Thanks for the interactions on X. It's truly is fun to talk with them. But I think a lot of it is coming down to the general manager and the lack of targets acquired for Josh Allen. and the lack of, they talk a big game at the trade deadline and come away with signing McCole Hardman to the practice squad today. So I get it. That's not going to move the needle for anyone. No one's going to be scared of McCole Hardman on the Bills offense. So I would be curious to see more comments from the Buffalo side and kind of see how the rest of the season kind of plays out, especially if they don't win the division and then they barely get into the wild card, but then they have an early exit in the postseason. Then what really happens? Because we know Bills Mafia is not shy. They're very vocal, as they should be. I mean, that's kind of what it is. You set so many expectations each season where you don't see the moves that you would expect a team to make. You can't watch last year's team and think that Keon Coleman was going to, yes, you wanted to take the next step, but we haven't seen anything saying otherwise. Khalil Shakur, he's not it. I mean, he's a good skill position player, a good slot guy, but he's not the one that you can rely on. Curtis Samuel, he's on the backside of his career. Still a good player, but they haven't done anything. You can sit there and try with your 2 tight ends all you want, but at the end of the day, Bills Mafia didn't seem like they were very thrilled with the GM, and it could end up costing Sean McDermott his job when you look at the big picture here. So it's going to be a very interesting back half of the season here. And speaking of people fired, a little long overdue. Brian Daboll out as the Giants head coach. Spags' name's been brought up. There's been a lot of names, as there usually are, as people are getting fired. Matt, what says you about Brian Daboll finally getting the boot?
I mean, it's about time. I mean, he's just not a good fit for that team. Don't get me wrong. I do like Brian Daboll. I just don't like him as a head coach. And that team was not set up for success, and he hasn't done anything with them. So good call.
Cody?
Yeah, I mean, it was long overdue. We've been talking about this. He probably could have been let go 3 weeks ago, but long search now for the owner to figure out. And I'm surprised the GM's not gone yet. I know it's just Daboll. I think the GM is still hanging around. So, I mean,
the funny thing about that is it's been that way the last 3 or 4 coaches. So they fired the head coach but retained the GM, and then end up firing the GM the next go around with the next one. So he's maybe safe now, but he's going to have to. That's a tall task right there.
The Giants coaching and leadership is going to look a lot different. I mean, they've got a lot of great pieces. When they're healthy, they're going to be a scary team, but you got to have the management and the coaching to put it all together. So we'll see.
Yeah, Caleb, what about you?
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I think the GM's not far behind. Honestly, I know they said that they're probably will still keep him. I don't know why anyone would want to take a job there right now at this point. I know they have some pieces. They have some really good defensive line pieces, and they beat my Chargers. But I don't know. I don't know why you'd want to take a job there.
Well, they have Jackson Dart too, so I mean, it could be intriguing to some. They'll have Malik Neighbors back hopefully beginning of next season after his injury. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm with Matt. I like Daboll, but we've said this about plenty of coaches before that they're just better coordinators. Some people should just stay coordinators. That's your lane. That's where you were great. It's unfortunate because I do like Daboll, but just to kind of go to what Caleb said, though, I think it's probably going to be one of the better jobs to take. If it's a defensive guy, you have to get your offensive coordinator correct. If it's an offensive guy, you're going to have to get your D coordinator selection correct. I think there's so many pieces there on paper. Scatty Boo, they have a good running back room. Little work on the offensive line, but man, that defense is rock solid if you can find a way to not have them on the field 80% of games. So I think that, again, the New York market is its own animal, so I don't think a first-time head coach should be going there. You're going to want an experienced guy who knows what they're doing. But other than that, I think that's actually a pretty inviting job.
Yeah, I think they would probably go the offensive route if they were smart because you have a quarterback there. There's a lot of offensive options. But again, maybe a defensive trend. You never know. But at that point, then you're going to have to absolutely nail your offensive coordinator spot because you're going to be changing up a lot of things on a young quarterback who is learning one thing. Now he's going to have to learn a whole new other thing either way. So I think there's going to be a lot of openings this year. I think this is the first of very, very many that are going to be coming up. And I think we're going to have some surprise ones in there too. And we'll look at all that later on down the road once we get to towards the end of the season on who's going to be canned. But anybody else have anything as we wrap up tonight?
I do. Speaking of homies we thought would be fired, can we talk about that troll job that Mike McDaniel did though? Like, that's a dude feeling himself, right? Like, a terrible season, but we clapped the Bills, so I'm going to troll some fans real quick.
That was funny.
I will say this. There's a conspiracy theory right now. Blame Haley Steinfeld for this because after she got on in the offseason, they were like, name the AFC East teams, and she said the Bills and their 3 sons. They're 0-2 to their 2 sons right now. So that's a Haley Steinfeld problem.
There we go.
Yeah, so I'm kind of just looking through the comments right now.
I want Herbert as a baller.
Larry thinks what surprised me is the Chargers with that hot garbage O-line, and they're still winning games. Caleb, you got any remarks to that?
Facts.
I second that. Yeah.
Yeah, and
I have to. That's the Herbert's a baller man from Seth. I think I have to.
she's hot. She
is.
She is.
But I think I have to finally second that from what Seth said about Herbert being a baller. I think I may have been the most harsh on him coming into the season and early into the season. So Caleb, kind of like you did earlier about, a team made you eat your words. Well, so far through 10 weeks, Herbert's making me eat mine. So, yeah, Seth, Herbert is a baller.
We have a massive episode tomorrow.
Sure do.
We have a massive episode tomorrow. Matt, do the honors.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to have Super Bowl 50 champion, former defensive lineman for the Denver Broncos. I know Caleb likes to claim him as a Charger. Sorry, Caleb, it doesn't work that way. Nope, doesn't count. You have to. Sly Williams is going to be joining the War Room. That's right. Sylvester Sly Williams will be in the War Room tomorrow. I'm excited. I can't wait.
I think we're going to have a post tomorrow for fans to drop their questions in there. We're going to give a couple lucky ones, and we'll bring those up to Sly. I know I have some Super Bowl 50 questions in there, and I also have a couple DT questions in there, obviously, with him being former teammates with Marius Thomas. But guys, it's going to be a high energy show tomorrow, and this is going to be fun. I know for Matt and I mentioned it on my Facebook page that we're going to be kind of geeked out. I mean, I know these guys are going to be excited too. Caleb, it's going to be your first guest as a member of the War Room. What are your thoughts right now?
I'm so excited. I'm gonna wake up tomorrow just like ready to go.
It does
showtime yet?
I won't even need coffee. Like, it's gonna be great. I'll still drink coffee, but it'll be great.
I'm not giving it up. I'm just saying I wouldn't need to.
Yes.
It's funny. We got 67 viewers right now. 67. Matt, you're rich.
Matt, what does that mean, bud?
I don't know.
Oh,
no one does.
Cody, what are your thoughts for tomorrow?
Man, it's really exciting. And again, as a Raiders fan, I'm seeing people in the comments saying Daboll should be OC, which not a bad idea. It'd be an upgrade from where we're at. But with having, a Super Bowl champion in here, and even though it's on the Broncos, it's going to be very exciting. I've missed the last couple of player ones from some other obligations in an emergency, so I'll be glad to kind of get back in the swing of things. But I'll actually be kind of excited to see the Bronco fans kind of geek out a little bit. So kind of looking forward for you guys to get a chance to talk to, Williams about the Super Bowl and like that experience, Demaryius Thomas. I'm a fan of his. I know that we all pretty much are. And Peyton Manning, what was it like to be on his team? So, I mean, questions for days, and the excitement level is through the roof right now. So,
yeah, and I'm going to geek out too. This is one of my trench guys. Like, I'm obviously not a Broncos fan, but this dude plays where the game's won and lost. So I'm so excited.
And him and Austin got the same beard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Twinsies, kind of.
I'm seeing some Ravens comments in the chat.
We'll have to
tune in Sunday morning for our pregame. I had already planned on talking about said Ravens because not too long ago we were kind of poo-pooing on the Ravens and John Harbaugh. Needless to say, they've kind of turned it around and kind of what we thought they would have to do. So they're back on track. slightly. So make sure you guys tune in Sunday morning for our pregame show, and we'll have some Ravens talk there. Cody, do you want to do some sponsorship shout out since you're so well-rounded with this?
Sure, I guess so. We're going to start with the we're going to start with the partners first. We're going to shout out Beard Club. Austin has a glorious beard. He maintains it by using Beard Club. We're also going to give a shout out to Homage. Unfortunately, none of us are wearing our Homage stuff. I've got mine kind of in my closet until the Raiders win because, Victory Monday. Although the last time I did win it, we almost pulled out a victory on the Broncos. So maybe I should start wearing it more often. But anyways, almost only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. Anyways, shout out to Homage, though. They send us a bunch of stuff. So go check them out in the comments down below. Shank It Golf, the Shovik brothers golf almost every single weekend exclusively. And they always rep Shank It Golf, especially Austin. He is he's got all the great gear for that as well. Let's see who else. Badger Barrel. Matt, hit him with the slogan.
In a world of butterflies, be a badger.
Nailed it. And then also we're going to shout out to the ones that pay to allow us to do this. And that would be Troy with Field Ops. Again, shout out to him for being a veteran. Their company is veteran owned. If you guys are looking for any league or field markings for any sporting events, please contact Troy and the crew. They will take care of you. Emporia State Federal Credit Union, Angie and the team, they are the Shovik banking of choice, as well as the War Room, because that's who our partners are as of today, of course. And then the big one of them all, Jeff with JBW Solutions. Jeff, thank you so much for your service and your time in the military and being a great partner to us. Thank you so much. Go and check out jbwsolutionsllc.com. If you guys are looking to get safety compliant with OSHA or long haul truck driving, go visit JBW Solutions to get all that. And they will provide you all sorts of resources. They are veteran owned, community driven, safety focused, great partners of ours. Matt, this partnership has been great, and having Jeff on, I think we had him on a couple of weeks ago for the Broncos and Cowboys game. It's just great to see what he's doing in the community and how they're trying to expand and help out a lot of companies. So go check out JBW Solutions LLC. I think that is everybody. Am I missing anybody, fellas?
Nope. And all you potential sponsors, come on.
Yeah, come join the party. It's a great time down here, and if you guys are interested, reach out to Austin and the crew. They will set you guys up. So I think that's it.
Chat, you guys have been killing it tonight. Make sure you guys tune in tomorrow. We're going to have a guest, Sylvester Williams, former Bronco, Super Bowl champion. Tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Central. Be here.
Matt, it's not 8 p.m. Central, is it? We moved it up.
Did we move it?
It's 5:30 Pacific, so 7:30 Central.
7:30. So don't tune in at 8. Tune in at 7:30. You'll get if you smash that subscribe button. Make sure you guys get that notification when we go live for Sly. We will see you guys tomorrow.